chicken without a head.
It's always going to be that way. It's never going to quit.
Oh, man, they still have to. Court is now in session. The Honorable Terrence Kitchell presiding. Please be seated.
Okay. So we're here on the arraignment portion of the docket. If you are, purpose of today's hearings on arraignment docket is merely the kind of the initial hearing in order to make a plea, guilty or not guilty. If you are here without an attorney, when you come forward, I'm going to ask you just to come up to the podium. First thing I'm going to ask you to do is to determine whether or not you wish to have an attorney appointed. So we'll deal with that. But then I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf so you can preserve your rights and get a chance to meet up with your attorney. So this is a very procedural hearing and it shouldn't take too long. So I'm going to go through the no attorneys. Just call out your name. Just ask that you come down to the podium if you're here. Lori Adams. Would the state check and see, make sure there was proper service?
Yes, sure.
Not guilty plea was filed by Attorney Morgan.
Morgan? Okay. Thank you. And was put on the next pretrial?
For October 14th.
For what?
October 14th pre-trial.
Okay, good. Is Kevin, if I'm pronouncing the name, first name, Kevin Bridges here? Would you come forward?
The information has not been filed in that case.
It has not, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Bridges, you do have a right to have an attorney appointed. As I mentioned before, do you wish to have an attorney appointed or are you going to hire private counsel?
I'm gonna hire one. I still
Okay.
been looking.
I'm sorry?
I still been looking.
Okay. At this point, the state has not filed their information. That's the charging document. And so we really can't take a plea here today. But it'll also give you a chance to kind of get up with your attorney. We're going to come back on the next arraignment. I assume the state will have theirs filed in the next month or choose not to proceed?
That's correct, Your Honor. There is some confusion between Fort Walton Beach PD. They have a new system, but we are still awaiting the full offense report just to keep the court updated. But we're working on it. Everyone's aware that we need it, and we should hopefully have it this week.
So is September 12th enough time?
Yes, Your Honor, it should be enough time. Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to continue this arraignment until September 12th, also at 1:30. And you can tell your attorney that when you hire him, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, any questions? Do you understand what we're doing here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Is April Johnson in the courtroom? Come forward.
Your Honor, this is State versus April Johnson, case number 24CF1663, charged with possession of a controlled substance.
Okay. So, Ms. Johnson, as I mentioned to you, you do have a right to have an attorney in these kind of cases. Do you wish to have an attorney appointed, or are you planning to hire private counsel?
I would like one appointed to me, Your Honor.
Okay. Court will appoint the public defender. And as I mentioned to you, I'm going to go ahead and enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. That preserves status quo. You don't give up any rights by doing that. And we'll come back on our next pretrial date, which is 10/14 at 9 a.m., October 14th. And you do need to fill that out, ma'am, and leave it at the clerk's office before we go. Who has the J's? Ms. Farkas?
This is going to be Mr. Gage, Your Honor. I have his card.
That's who you're going to have to call to make an appointment, okay?
Okay.
Okay, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
No,
Fill
that's,
that out.
need to sign.
Fill that out, turn it in the clerk's office before you leave. Yeah, it's on the first floor. Fill it out.
So she can do
Okay,
so each defendant gets a copy.
okay. We've got a no attorney in custody, but we don't have any more out of custody. Do you all have any that are out of custody?
No, Your Honor, I haven't seen the two out of custody clients here yet.
Mr. Medina?
Same response, Your Honor.
Okay. Does anybody think they have a hearing going on at this time? It's here? Okay. Very good. Let's go ahead and proceed then with the inmates. Ms. Farkas, you want to go, or you
I'm
just?
ready whenever.
Okay. We'll start bringing up the,
I just have the two. I think,
No, not the plea, not the arraignment.
yeah, I would just have to arrange.
so you want to bring up Fain or Garza? Those are the, oh, yeah. No,
Fain
it's
and Sharp are mine.
Fain and what?
Sharp,
Sharp?
Sharp, Javion Sharp.
Sharp. Sharp, there's Sharp.
Your Honor, this is Javion Sharp. There are 4 dockets on the arraignment calendar today, 2024 CF 1685, 2024 CF 1563, 2024 CF 1564, and 2024 CF 1562. Mr. Sharp will plead not guilty in all 4 cases, and I believe that he's already on the pretrial conference docket. They might, I think that is the 14th, the incarcerated.
16th.
16th, so I think they'll just need to be put on for the 16th.
Okay. Very good. The court will enter the not guilty plea on all 4 charges, not charges, but all 4 cases. And we'll continue the matter till the pretrial on 10/16. In the interim, you can meet up and understand what's going on with your attorney.
Get out of jail offers free. Maybe. Which one is that?
Next up is Aaron Fain, 2024 CF 1633.
Orange.
Mr. Fain is going to enter a plea of not guilty today. He has another case that I believe is already set for the pretrial conference date in October. So we can move this one to that date as well.
Very good. The court will enter a not guilty plea and will continue this until 10, October 16th, 9 a.m. You can meet up with him in the evening.
So basically, we just gotta just do two paraphernalias instead of one.
Thank you. Those are my only two in custody arraignments. So maybe I'll give a couple minutes for the out of custody people.
We'll go until we run out of time, and
Thank
then
you.
we'll deal with them.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Medina, you want to do yours?
Yes, Your Honor, I've got one where we're gonna do a deal, and the state is checking on an offer on the other one, so.
Okay.
uh,
Which one do you want to do first?
We could, well, I will advise the court, I'm gonna be sending back an agreement for Charles K. Anderson to consider.
Okay.
I don't know that we've got a deal, but it likely will.
Okay.
So, I don't need to bring him out. It'd be more efficient if he just stayed back there, and I'll draft up the agreement, and send it back in 5 or
Okay.
10 minutes.
That's fine.
And then arms, we're trying to figure it out.
Okay.
He may not have.
We've got one that's without an attorney, and we can bring him out. Barrett. We've got one without an attorney. Is Barrett? Barrett. Antoine Barrett.
Are you ready for him?
I think Barrett, Your Honor, he's the gentleman who Travis Gates let out for me last week. If it's Antoine Barrett, I think
Okay.
that guy already pled out.
Okay, well,
last
let's
week.
check it out. 24 CF
I don't need to-
1666.
I don't need to use the informal "that guy" language.
Yes, he was sentenced on August 16th.
He was plea.
Yes.
That is correct. So
Did Mr. Barrett not?
he was,
plead
no, he
out?
did.
He did on August
He did.
16th.
Yes, thank you.
So you can just let him know that he's
We do
okay.
not need him. I thought we already let him know that.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you, Travis.
And if you want Mr. Arn?
We can probably have Mr. Arns, the state may not have an offer right now, but
We're working.
You want to wait on him then?
Yes, sir.
it'd be ideal if we waited.
Okay. Mr. Gates, you want to try and do a couple?
If I can have a moment with one of my clients, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm drafting for Anderson and we're finding out about Arns.
You want me to take a short break and come back in? Does that work?
Yes, sir. I'm
That would be good, Your Honor.
checking on ours to make sure my score sheet's correct.
Okay. How long do y'all want? 15?
That's fine. That's fine, Your Honor. Thank
Okay.
you.
15 minutes, I'll be back in.
Thank
We
you.
can also have, I'm sorry, Your Honor, we can also have my.
This is Tiffany Woodham, State Farm's newest agent in Crestview. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by my office for a no-cost policy review. Let me help you start saving today. Call in, walk in, or click in at yourcrestviewagent.com.
Alex Barthay from the UPS store once again.
Ready for Caitlin Johnson, JJ. Your Honor, this is going to be Miss Caitlin Johnson before the court. Let me make sure I get the case number right.
It's 24 CF 1644.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, we're going to enter a not guilty plea. Ms. Johnson's already scheduled for October the 16th, or October the 14th. I
Very
apologize.
good. Court will accept the not guilty plea. We'll continue this matter until 10:14 at 9 a.m. in pretrial. Okay? Thank you. I'm sorry. Ma'am, you have to fill out this form, and if you can fill out it before you leave and drop it off at the clerk's office down. Okay? Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
If I could just add that
Oh,
payment.
no. You got the
Your Honor, if we could address one other matter.
Sure.
Before we bring Mr. Garza out. We had Leanne Hood this morning
right?
in 20, let me make sure.
And I don't have my docket with me, so
23 CF 2052, the state dismissed the VOP and terminated probation.
Right?
We had outstanding costs that we failed to address. If we can get 12 months to pay those outstanding fees before they're sent to collections.
That's the state's agreement, Your Honor. That's
Okay.
what the state would request.
Do you have that case number?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, you good? Okay, so the court so orders
Thank you,
allows
Judge.
12 months. Thank you.
Your Honor, this is going to be Mr. Florentino Garza before the court, 24 CF 1716. At this time, Your Honor, I'd like to enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Garza's behalf.
Very good. So we'll enter, in court will accept the not guilty plea here today, and we'll continue this matter until 10:16 at 9 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I speak? Permission to speak? Thank you.
Talk to your attorney, see.
And Your Honor, he was asking for bond reduction. I explained to Mr. Garza, I'll come out and see him. And get
You gotta
the
file,
paperwork
you gotta file a formal motion and all that. He'll come out.
Okay. Yeah. And I told you I'll come and talk to you about that bond, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
On my file right now, I'm going to do that, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, on this gentleman, Mr. Bolton, I'm going to be drafting an agreement, so we can do that during the break as well.
Okay, fine. We bringing one up, or
I've got Mr. Arns in the feed, I didn't know what the status was with him.
Mr. Arms?
you want Mr.
We're
Arnold?
fine, and the state's looking at
Okay,
it.
you wanna bring in Mr. Brown then? Or you want me to take a break now?
We need to take a break, I think. Is,
Okay.
Brown?
That's
Oh, Michael
from,
Brown, we can bring him out, just to get him off the dock.
okay, let's do it.
It's gonna be just a new court date, because the state is amending to address the issues. Is it gonna be a grand theft?
Yes.
That'll bring him off the 2:30 docket.
Right.
Your Honor, Steve Medina with Michael Anthony Harrison Brown,
Yes, sir.
23 CF 2698. I'm just going to advise him the status. You can discuss questions like that. Steve Medina with Michael A. Brown. Your Honor, we're here on a motion to dismiss, and basically the state is representing that based on the state's motion, it is going to be amending the first-degree felony dealing in stolen property by organized trafficking charge to a grand theft third degree. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And therefore, basically at this time, when do you expect the amended information will be filed?
Anytime today.
Okay, so the amended information is going to be filed, Your Honor. So I think basically you just hold the motion in abeyance, but it is going to basically be resolved
Okay.
by operation of the amended
And so
information.
are the cases already set for 10/16?
I believe so, Your Honor. He has many other cases, Your Honor, which are all already set for the pretrial. This is only one of the cases, so.
Your Honor,
All the other ones are set for
I
pretrial?
believe so.
Yes,
So
1016.
which is the one that we had today? Because I've got all of them listed.
Today, the only one was up on a motion was 23 CF 269A.
That's correct, Your Honor.
The state has indicated to me that
Okay. Okay, so we'll continue that also along with the other ones to 1016.
right. And
Okay.
the defendant is wanting to know why he can't do a Phoenix House deal. And the reason why is that the state's not willing to do a Phoenix House deal, at least at this time. And it would want prison. He doesn't want prison, so we're gonna try to see if we can work something out in this cycle. And if
So,
we can't, we'll be.
I'll
ready
explain it to
trial.
you. The way it works is, on the plea arrangement, people understand this to varying degrees. The plea agreement is between two individuals. It's like any other contract. Both sides got to agree to it. In this case, the two sides is the state attorney, through the state attorney, and you. And if one of you don't agree with it, in other words, they can't force you to take a plea deal. And you can't force them to take a plea deal.
Yes, sir.
You got to both agree. The only thing, you have two options that you always have the right to do. Mr. Medina, listen to this. I want to make sure I get this right. I'm saying something I don't normally say. You can either plea to the bench, in other words, plead guilty, in which case, court always has to accept that. Or, the other thing you can do is to go to trial. You always have the right to, you have an absolute right to go to trial. State's got to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. You've got all the protections. Not innocent until proven guilty, ability to confront when, all those things you have that right. Those are your two options. But I can't get in the middle, and we can't force the state to do something they don't want to do. I just want to let you know that. It's not your attorney holding out or whatever. Basically, the state, they have their kind of criteria they have in their office based on the charges and the history and all that stuff.
Yes, sir. I'm just asking for help, you know. I was a drug addict out there, and it had me by the neck.
I understand.
And
Your Honor, one of the,
Now, I'm glad you're trying to get help. I mean, because if not, you'll be back here just on
I have
something else.
a 6-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son, and
Yeah.
I know they just need me out there.
I understand.
Your Honor, thank you. We'll be back on October 16. I'll be exploring options that might be better than the significant, well, it's an 8-year DOC offer, was the global offer that was on the table as of April 1st. And so but that should be reduced given the guidelines is probably going to go down, given that the first-degree felony is now going to be a third-degree felony. So we don't know where, basically, the position of the state may change, but we may negotiate a way of asking the court to consider Phoenix House. But
Sure.
I've got to do it in a careful way that doesn't provide him more prison exposure than he has to have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, time to take a break?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You want me to come back in 15 or wait for somebody to call me?
I think 15 would be plenty of time.
Okay, I'll come back in 15.
All rise.